Hi, here are my honest thoughts on Fairphone after using the Fairphone 3 and Fairphone 4 for about 5 years now. And by the way, I think this applies to Fairphone 5 too, as an improvement to the Fairphone 4. And if you're thinking about getting one of these, yeah, this video is also for you. So why did I want a Fair product in the first place? Well, for ethical reasons mostly. Like, it's a sort of lesser evil mentality that I just have in general in life, just trying to suck less, I guess. So yeah, I like the idea that it is more fair made than other products, and also the repairability aspect is very important to me because I like to take care of my tech products, and it really pisses me off when stuff isn't modular and you can't just take a screwdriver to the stuff that you own and fix it yourself. So it's that, and the longevity as well, because if you can repair your things, they live longer. If you can replace modules, that makes the product overall more sustainable. And so I really do think you vote with your money, and in that case I also want to support a more fair tech industry in general. I think that is the way to go for the future, and yeah, that's just like, those are my reasons why I wanted a Fairphone. But there are some technical aspects. For instance, for me, I had a lot of Samsung phones in the past, but also I cannot really compare my Fairphone experience to like a flagship Samsung phone experience because I never had those. I was a total cheapskate. So I had like S3 mini and S4 and 5 mini. My husband had those, so I looked at them, didn't like them. I bought my mom a Xiaomi. I'm learning Chinese. I should know how to say it.
Xiaomi.
Google says Xiaomi. I thought it was Xiaomi, but whatever. So I got one of those for my mom because I could not convince her to get a $520 piece of equipment because she's clumsy. And before that, I had a really old HTC. So most of my phones were used secondhand phones that I just got from other people who didn't need their phones anymore. And frankly, I did not care so much about having a phone as an everyday pocket computer. I am more of a laptop user. I am more of a fan of the keyboard. Yes, I got a USB keyboard. I know it's a little bit stupid, but I really like it. It feels so good. It looks good. I can attach it to my computer and sit on the couch and have the computer on a little stool. Yeah, this little friend here. When I watch a movie, I put that in front of my couch, and then I put a laptop on it, and then I can watch a movie, which I do like once a year. And if I don't do that, then I put my feet on that. And I don't put this keyboard on that while I'm doing that. I'm not typing with my feet. Reminder to yourself, it's always me that takes other people literally. Other people don't do that with the stuff that I say. But again, it's on YouTube, so you never know. Where was I? Oh yeah, my Samsung phones and stuff. So at the point where I got my first Fairphone, or was thinking about getting a Fairphone, I just had my baby. So I was taking a lot of snapshots, and I also always needed a phone to be available and reachable, and it just needed to be a reliable piece of tech. And I was pissed with my Samsung phone because the memory was always full, it was always slow and hot, and at some point it just stopped charging. So I needed a phone basically immediately to replace that phone. That is when I decided, should I get a Shift phone, or should I get, I did say Shift, not shit, a Shift phone or a Fairphone 3 at the time. And I opted for a Fairphone 3 because I really don't think that, this part is actually not ethically sourced and we really don't know where it comes from, but hey, we're investing in this other project and that really helps people, so we're still the good guys. Like, I understand the sentiment, but if there's at the same time a company that is doing a better job at producing a fair product and it costs $100 more, then that's worth it to me. Like, the difference in technical specs was not that great. The difference in price was also not that great. So yeah, that's why in the end I opted for a Fairphone 3. However, why would for instance, a Samsung Galaxy not have been an option for me? First of all, I would not have gotten that new because those are way more expensive, at least in my country they are. And it just doesn't make sense for me to buy a super expensive phone that is then not even fair, only to have like a slightly better camera. Like, it seemed to me that all they offer is that, but for that, I have a camera. Like, I'm a YouTuber, I do take out my real camera if I want to take good photos and videos, so I don't need that. I never even had that on my mind. And I also think that we need a little bit of a paradigm shift here, because people expect their phone to be this little supercomputer that does it all. Yet products that claim to do it all, they are rarely ever good at all the single aspects they're chasing after. It's like if you're a programmer and you're a C, a Python, an R, a MATLAB programmer, and on top of that you also want to be a web developer, or like basically just full stack. In reality, that barely ever exists, because the kind of people who claim they're full stack, they usually just suck at either front end or back end. But yeah, I said it. But back on topic. So Samsung didn't convince me, and this goes for any phone like Apple as well. First of all, I would never want an Apple system. I cannot tweak it enough. I cannot interfere with it. I don't like it. That's just not a question. So Android only. Still, if I get a Samsung or Xiaomi or some other of like the more modern brands, installing a custom ROM is not always easy. Rooting that phone is not always easy. Like some are really made for it, and that's cool. That's okay, fine. But especially in Samsung, you just never know what you get. And then you have to do all this research before to know, oh, is my phone actually easy to root? And then you rely on, just dudes in forums. I don't know. I rather want a phone where it's just easy to put a custom bootloader, a custom ROM on right away, and then not deal with this bullshit. Because I don't want the bloatware. I mean, at this point, to be completely honest, I still have the standard system on my Fairphone because I simply did not have the time to put on another system. But for instance, my husband is using Lineage OS, and that took like 5 minutes to install. And my daughter also has Lineage. Anyway, overall, I just felt like in all of these flagship phones, like the one thing that drove up the price more than everything else was the internal memory. But they're doing that in a way that is completely disproportional to how much memory you get. Like you pay $300 more and all it does better is like a few more gigs. Like, no. That's not how it should work. I should not spend more than I spend on a terabyte hard drive on a phone. That's nuts. Like the phone does the same, but then for $500 I get one with 128 gigabytes at the time, right? It's just completely stupid. But yeah, apart from that, repairability was crucial to me. The fact that some of these phones, especially this goes out to Apple, are just made to be hard to open, made to be hard to repair. There's fucking glue everywhere. And if there's something that does not belong in a phone or a mattress, then it's freaking glue. Oh, and of course, like the better they are by the technical specs. Like if I had then found one of those phones and I thought, okay, this meets my criteria. This is a nice phone. It's fast. It has a good processor. Doesn't get too hot. Has enough memory so I can store all my photos on the freaking phone, because yes, I want to do that because I want it as a backup. And I want a lot of, apps like my yoga app that stores the videos locally. I want them offline. I want a big library in my internal memory, not on a freaking memory card, in an internal memory, to have it fast and to have it backed up. I want that on a phone that I can also access easily from my Linux. And so if I found one of those Android phones that would meet those criteria, then it of course would not have a removable battery, because why should they bother? They don't make phones to make them repairable and long lasting and easy to repair, so you don't have to rely on their crappy repair centers that like all they do is literally just give you a new phone or sometimes a new module that then costs as much as a new phone. So yeah, I just didn't want to be screwed, I guess. So for me, most important technical aspects in a new phone were just having lots of internal memory, as I said. I wanted 2 SIM card slots, and really I don't care if it's an eSIM or not. I wanted a memory card slot, preferably easily to access, but that is not the case in any of the Fairphones as far as I know, but also not in any other phone, so there's not really a competition. I wanted a long battery life, which is 1 day without recharging, because I take videos with my phone. I use my phone more than the average user, I'd say. And I wanted a good enough camera module. As I said, I prefer to shoot videos and photos on my real camera right here, and I don't really need a camera that is like super good. But if someone is about to damage my car and I want to film them real quick, I want that camera to open fast and have enough resolution to catch the motherfucker so he can be identified. So yeah, what can I say after 5 years of using both Fairphones 3 and 4? Apart from, oh, it's great, it's fair. Well, it was actually super easy to put custom ROM on these phones. The longevity of the phones is great. I don't feel like after several years that the battery of the Fairphone 3 has suffered a lot. Still works at a good capacity. I mean, my husband is using it to listen to podcasts, and he's using the phone just as much as I did, or maybe like a little bit less, because he does not film a lot of video unless he gets my kid to the ice skating rink. But he's okay with it, and he was fairly critical about this whole battery aspect. The bottom module on his Fairphone 3 also broke, and he had to replace it. Therefore, he had to wait, I think, 6 weeks maybe until it was in stock again. And then it was delivered basically within 2 days, I think. But I'm not super sure about that. But it was a little bit of waiting time because apparently the bottom modules in the Fairphone 3 were not that great. But it was a super easy fix once it was done. And now he has like a magnetic charger. What I can say about especially the Fairphone 4, which I have here, is that it feels extremely high quality, sturdy. It feels nice. It is bulky. Yeah, but it's stiff. Like the Fairphone 3 was a little bit more wobbly, especially because it has like this bumper that just goes around and nothing in the back. But I think that's a personal preference. I like this design better. I think it feels very high end. The camera is like, it has 2 cameras in the back. So it's one wide angle, which is shitty slow. Like it lags if you take videos with it, but it does not lag in the video. Only the viewfinder of it lags. So I don't know why they didn't reduce the resolution for the preview, because we really don't need that. There should be an option for that. I don't know. It's weird, and it lags in all camera apps because I use ProShot, which I can really recommend as a camera app for the Fairphone because it really makes the most out of your camera module. And especially in the Fairphone 3, the standard camera from the stock ROM was just shit. And so, like the camera app, and it would just take these slightly too sharp, weirdly lit photos. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I think that the quality that I have on my Fairphone is just good enough. So just to give you the difference between this video and like the front video and the back video, I'm going to do this part of the little presentation here on my back camera. So now I'm filming myself. So the battery life, I already said that. I think I'm very happy with the battery life. Could it be longer? Yes, for sure. I mean, it highly depends on the monitor brightness. If you are outside a lot, yeah, the battery will die faster. But to be honest, I am using NewPipe a lot instead of YouTube. I can just shut off the display and just listen to the videos I want to listen to, because I barely ever watch those videos anyway. I don't have time for that. I'm watching that in the background, or listening to that in the background, or listening to podcasts in the background, and also use the data saver and battery saver option. And with that, the phone usually lasts me a whole day or longer. Now let's take a look at the front camera, shall we? Here we go. Okay, that's the front camera of the Fairphone, but I think I'm shielding the microphone a little bit with my hand, so I'm sorry if the sound is shitty. In general, I don't think the sound is super great. It could be better, but you know, compared to Fairphone 3 and 4, the Fairphone 4 is really much better. Anyway, what else can I say? So it was easier to repair, at least the Fairphone 3. I believe it's the same with the Fairphone 4. It has also almost no lags, because a lot of people are saying that the image repetition frequency is not like at the top end, like compared to other modern phones. But I don't know. I don't mind enough. I don't see it. It doesn't bother me. Like if you scroll through a website or something and then you see a little bit of lagging, haven't had that issue so far. And I would also say, which is like a really good thing, that whenever you have updates or bug fixes, like those happen pretty fast. I remember that I was seeing certain issues in the Fairphone 3 and 4 in the beginning, and I thought, oh, this is annoying. Why doesn't this work in a different way? And then there were like 2 or 3 updates and it was fixed. So I really appreciate that about this phone and probably the community. So now you saw front and back camera in comparison to this kind of camera, which is a Sony Alpha. You can tell me in the comments what you think. Now, to the honest downsides of using Fairphones. As I said, they're heavy and bulky. Like this is as big as a chocolate bar. A German 100 gram chocolate bar is like exactly this size. That's so weird. Like I'm holding a chocolate bar. I don't know. Then I will admit that it is indeed expensive, which is why I am not getting the Fairphone 6. I would love to get it for this channel to do a review, or maybe the Fairphone 7, but I don't need it because I see this still working when the 7 and 8 come out. So this alone for me is such a positive thing. I could never have said that about any of my older phones, even if they were bought new, like the Samsungs or something. And I mean, I had like these cheaper Samsung phones, but still, like from the specs, it should have lived longer. It should have been reliable for longer. And I don't know, like I'm just extremely disappointed in the tech industry at this point, because I think it is technically a lot easier to do better if you have the means. If you are a big company, you can make these phones that way. But those manufacturers choose not to, which is why I say fuck them and buy a fair solution instead, even if it's like $200 more. But you know, in terms of Samsung, it really isn't. It's not that much more expensive. Yeah, some aspects technically are better, but do you even feel the difference? Like, you should ask yourself that, because often we get these vanity metrics and we look at that like, oh, this is such a fast phone. Oh, the processor is this and that. Like, what do you use it for? What do you use it for where you need that actually? I don't play any games on my phone, and I don't plan to, because I don't want to be a fucking addict. I was such a gamer in my past life. I am not going back there. So this is not even a good criterion for me to measure how fast or how reliable a phone is. To me, it matters that I can call someone in an emergency and it's not like the lock screen doesn't open like in my old Samsung. This was so annoying. Sometimes I could not call people. This was such a major upgrade to me to get this phone that, I don't know, I guess I'm not spoiled enough. So yeah, it's expensive. And also there is a lot of Google bloatware on it if you don't put a custom ROM on it. Just all the Google apps are on there already. And if you don't like that, well, then you get the F-Droid repository, something else, or you put a custom ROM on it. I mean, there is some Gboard installed. I think Gboard is not the most privacy protecting keyboard, but it's very practical. So yeah, this is a decision you have to make on any system. If you want that keyboard that is comfortable and easy to use, or some shitty keyboard that does not remember your auto completion preferences, your choice. Like, if you care more about privacy and it's about usability, like, it's the same for me. I care more about fairness than I care about some technical specs. You know, it's a decision that you have to make every day, basically, with all sorts of things. But let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the missing mic jack. Yeah. People hated this online, and they really questioned Fairphone's intentions because of it, because they claimed like it was their addition to producing less e-waste, yet isn't it producing exactly that? Because like, if people can't use their headphones anymore, they're with wires, then those will be waste, or at least they cannot use them with the phone. So I agree with that argument actually, but for me as a user, it's just not relevant because I have not used wired earphones in years. I hate them. They give me, I don't know, the ick. Like, I hate having this on my neck. There is never a right way where to put it. And initially I started using Bluetooth in ears because I wanted just my peace and quiet while doing yoga, so I would not hear my kid and husband shouting and making noises next door. So I wanted to do yoga in peace, and that is when I got those, and to me that was just such a sensory relief, I guess, and I never went back. I do have high quality headphones, just like for instance these, which I use for editing only, and I attach them to my computer. So those are important to me, so I can adapt the audio quality and just look at whether or not the noise reduction works and stuff like that. But I don't need that on my phone, and I also think that most wired headphones are not so good. I don't know. I mean, the main criterion why I'd want wired headphones is that there is no lag. But that is something I only ever recognize because the lag is so small when I watch like TikTok videos with very, very fast transitions. And other than that, I don't even notice that. So again, it goes to user profile. What do you really honestly need? Is this just vanity? Is this just, oh, I want this because it's the best? Or is it stuff that you actually make use of? Because I don't make use of not having a lag. I don't edit on my phone. I mean, if I do, well, yeah, then I can just switch off Bluetooth and edit that way. But I don't know. Also, I have not seen a phone yet that has no Bluetooth lag. Yeah, and that's it with the Fairphone and my experience. Overall, this is the best phone that I ever had. I am super happy with it. I might only add like a little comparison between Fairphone 3 and Fairphone 4 now. So in my opinion, biggest improvements from a Fairphone 3 to a Fairphone 4 is the audio recording quality. Fairphone 3 audio recording quality is really shit, like, sorry to say, but yeah, it sucked ass. The camera quality is so much better, especially the front camera of this phone. If you want to see a comparison, I can do one, but I don't think it's really relevant anymore because now the Fairphone 5 is out already. Also, this one has a nicer bumper. The other one was just going around, although it was faster and easier to open, which is good for me because I always drop my phone in, not always, but I dropped it in the toilet once, yeah. And it survived and nothing happened, and it still works like a charm, which I cannot say about any other phone. And yeah, I dropped 2 others in water for some reason while hiking, like I dropped one in a puddle, not one of my proudest moments. And then what's not so great about this one, Fairphone 4 compared to Fairphone 3, well, the Fairphone 4 can, as I said, not be opened as fast as Fairphone 3. It seems to be a little bit more delicate and just... yeah, the big display, that is like, I feel when I drop it, it breaks more easily because that is just so close to the corners. But so far nothing has happened. But I also didn't drop it as much as I dropped my Fairphone 3. So I don't know. And the bumper is a higher quality, I just have to give them that. And it goes around the back, which the first bumper didn't. Yeah, and that's about it. So I would say I like this phone quite a bit. I'm very happy with the quality. I'm also happy with the video recording quality, which is just fine for me. And I even have whole videos recorded on this phone for YouTube. And so far my viewers did not mind that much. It is not the kind of quality that I would use for like everything on my channel for obvious reasons. But I would also not use another phone for, because I still see that it's like flat, dynamic range is not there. It's a little bit too sharp always. It's just like no phone can replace a camera. That's just how it is. Hello, who's there? Oh, it's Fairphone. Oh, you want to send me a Fairphone 6 for review on my YouTube channel? Thank you, that's so great. I've been waiting for this. Hello, can I talk to Fairphone? Yeah, you know, I really want a Fairphone 6 for my channel to review. I can also send it back. You know, I like, bye-bye, the video is over. My honest sauce on the Fairphone. Dude.